Welcome and thanks for listening. My name is Christian Buckley, and you're listening to the CollabTalk podcast. In this recurring conversation with Sean McDonough and Geoff Varosky, we discuss Microsoft news from the recent Microsoft Ignite 2025 conference held in San Francisco, with updates on Copilot, SharePoint, and more. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode of the CollabTalk podcast, where we discuss the convergence of technology, business productivity, and collaboration culture. My co-conspirators today say it's a big week. There's a lot going on, and we're actually publishing on the week when all this activity happened. So this is like fresh, new content, people. But my co-conspirators today are Mr. Sean McDonough, sort of like a consultant with Smarter Consulting based out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and an M365 MVP, and Mr. Geoff Varosky, a senior architect for Insight and the co-founder of the new janky workshop that I'm representing today.
And you're doing better than I am, because I'm not doing it.
Well, but you send me free clothes, I'll wear them occasionally. It happens, but you
have to find a new definition for new, because the janky workshop's been new for years now.
Well, I think it's in quotes. The new
Yes.
janky workshop. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
the new.
Yeah.
Understood.
It's like there's a video going around now of, it's in quotes, like the not meat restaurant or it's the not vegan restaurant. It's like, it's not. So it's not, and then there's a vegan with a cross through it, and it's like, well, we purify meat and then we paint it to look like vegetables,
They didn't learn the lesson about the double negatives in school, huh?
Yes, yeah. Our focus. So welcome, gentlemen. First of all, it's great to see you. It's been a while.
Well.
Good to be back.
I know. It's been a while since the three of us have been in the same virtual space here.
You guys never write. You never call. I mean,
I'm sorry.
Because Sean, I see you almost every day.
Well, this is true nowadays.
Work-related stuff. But anyway. Well, our focus today is on the latest Microsoft Ignite news and updates. A lot going on. Did you watch the keynotes?
I didn't see the keynote. I've not had the time to go back and review the keynote or any of the, summaries of the keynote. So no.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I know some of the news that we've seen because we've talked about it in prep for today, but there's a lot of like news bits slipping out. And of course, as MVPs, we heard about some of the stuff in advance. Geoff, I mean, has anything slipped into your radar from the show this week?
No, not really, except that see all my old friends hanging out in San Francisco like the old days. So
yeah,
that's about it.
True. Yeah.
That's hard. I would say that I don't really have FOMO for events anymore. There's enough that's going on, and I'm happy to not travel as much. I still enjoy it. But I've got stuff to do. I instantly think I feel guilty on the flight out, thinking, what am I neglecting? I got other stuff to work on, and like that healthy anxiety around work and stuff not being done. But yeah. Well, I will say this. I've watched. So the keynote, and I've watched some of the summary videos. I'm always interested if I can't be at an event, and I often say this, that I'm more interested in hearing the reactions. Like I've got my notes, I've got the things I'm focused on. But if I'm in a hallway conversation with Sean and Geoff, the two of you, and Sean, you tell me like I'm really focused on this aspect, like I'm always hearing about like, oh, I wasn't even paying attention to that, and I didn't understand that impact because it just wasn't top of mind for me. And Geoff, of course, wants to talk all about BravoCon and what's going on with the House Lot Wives and of Public City, other stuff. And I'm just like, Sean, wait until afterwards when we're at the after party. I don't have time to get into that stuff. But that's the benefit of. Was that like a one-handed jazz hands there, Sean?
That was Ruby Rod from The Fifth Element.
Oh, nice. All right.
Good reference. Good
movie. Or whatever his last name is.
Corbin Dallas.
Right?
Yes.
That's it.
It's free on YouTube right now for The Fifth Element for folks that don't know the movie reference there, but I really like that that movie. It's fun.
They were running it like it was like their startup show for, well, AMC had it as like a startup show every night at midnight. It was
Right.
wild.
Saw the ads for it all the time. Well, it's now on YouTube in the free stuff. At least it is in my region. I don't know how they divide and conquer around the free stuff, but well, I'll say that this here, I've got my little prepared talk, my summary, and then we'll jump in and show people some things. But I think it is, and this is very marketing friendly to Microsoft, but it did deliver a clear message for anyone living inside of the Microsoft 365 world. It's that Copilot is no longer a bolt-on assistant. It's not something like it's optional. It's becoming the operating system of workplace productivity. I'd even posit, I don't know if you guys agree with this or not, but I can see like Microsoft 365 and Office 365 brands going away and it just be called, Copilot, and then you're using PowerPoint with Copilot. It almost becomes, it's the new Office 365.
Mm-hmm.
And something to think about. I mean, it doesn't quite cleanly work there, but that's just my thinking here.
I think it might be, it's making, start to direct that way, but I think it's going to be a long time. Just like, everything that we wanted SharePoint to be finally like really started happening with Teams and stuff, it'll take a while. It'll take a while.
Well, that there's a whole conversation around that. Obviously, Microsoft is interested in pushing everybody as fast as they can that direction. But you're right. I think culturally, it's going to take a lot of time for this. I think that the biggest changes, though, that landed directly in the apps that people used daily, like if you think of agent mode in Excel and Word and PowerPoint, where you can prompt into a full dashboard, have a formatted business report or executive slide deck with a single natural language instruction. Now, I know this is one of those things where those that are in playing with Copilot in each of these products now, there's a bit of a gap there. We were talking before the recording, like the Excel experience and the fact that, in fact, I'm doing a training class with Copilot. And just this week, and somebody asked about some of the capability of Excel. And I was like, well, let me show you, and open up Copilot separate on the right rail, or opens up on the right side from the Copilot that's in Excel. Both of them, if you ask, hey, can you do this? They'll both say yes. And then you say, okay, then now do the thing which you just said you could do. And then it coughs and struggles there. So I think it's the end-to-end execution of that is not yet, hasn't, and I need to go play with the next version of these things. It's not yet meeting kind of user expectations around that, but I mean, things are rapidly changing.
It does, like with Excel and stuff like that, it does, save you the time of going to search that up and trying to, find the right information to actually do this type of formula in Excel, because it'll find it for you and just tell you how to do it. But it is missing on actually doing the work.
Right. Well, I think that's it. It's that's the goal, the vision for this. It now, Microsoft says that Copilot now handles end-to-end workflows. That's what that is. So if you want to go and format a report or generate that slide deck with a single instruction, instead of taking hours building out templates and aggregating data or fighting with those formatting gremlins or the back and forth between the Copilot chat experience and what's happening in the app, they're claiming end-to-end workflows. So this is where need to experiment, need to play with it to understand what the constraints are there. But there's a lot more that I can do. And of course, Outlook and Edge also picked up some major intelligence upgrades with deeper inbox reasoning, which is fantastic. I'm using Copilot more and more in Outlook. And I've been using Outlook, for the web. I've moved to the new Outlook before I was forced to. And been using Edge for exclusively for Microsoft products, so I can benefit from all of the integrations with Microsoft 365 and now Copilot as well within the Edge browser. And so looking forward to better reasoning and meeting prep and multi-tab analysis that kind of helps me keep ahead of email overload and other daily decision making. But SharePoint and Teams also got called out, and we'll look at that in the book of news here in a minute. Stepped into the agentic era there. SharePoint now includes page agents and list agents. That was a big news. And Sean, I know we're probably going to be talking about this, playing with this, showing to this some clients soon, some cool things. We've even internally, Sean and I are now working for the same place where we have all the things. We're a frontier company, so we're signed up. We've started adding agents to every team, to every list and library, anything out there that we can do.
So many agents, we got trench coats.
Lots of things going on. So it's great. But again, being able to use a simple prompt to be able to take action. It's going to be a huge shift for a lot of organizations that have struggled with consistency and content sprawl. So Copilot can now guide users into creating structured, usable assets from the start. So I'm excited about that. Teams, which we live in every day, we're in there using that. It's expanded that experience, particularly around group collaboration. So it can now participate in Teams chats. It can summarize cross-thread, which is a huge thing. It understands that context. And so it can support shared tasks and project discussions.
Yeah, we've seen announcements. That's all supplied by WorkIQ, which is Microsoft's. You can almost think of it like a graph for AI type data.
Right. Exactly. I mean, the goal is to help teams stay aligned. And you're right. These are behind the scenes Microsoft's. This is part of the keynote to talking about WorkIQ. This is Microsoft's new branded intelligence layer, and it helps because I think it is. I think we were talking about this before we hit record. I think it's just a branding for the graph.
It's context management within the scope of an AI interaction. Having an AI essentially maintain context from conversation to conversation. Work AI enhances a lot of that, as well as a number of other things.
Again, it takes me back this startup that I co-founded in the late 90s, which was looking at, we didn't know to call it the phrasing, the wording of the social graph, but to go and do pattern recognition and machine learning that get smarter around that to understand the relationships, the connections between all the content. It's essentially what this is doing here now. Copilot can now reason over data, whether it's SharePoint content, Teams conversations, your email, any Microsoft 365 artifacts, to give you that more relevant actionable insights across all those things. So it says Microsoft's language WorkIQ helps Copilot understand how your teams operate, what information is connected, and what matters most across projects. So this is a pretty foundational change that moves Microsoft 365 ecosystem from more of a reactive search, a dump, like it's a collection of, and it's a starting place to get into stuff, into more of an organizational memory. It's going to pull together and understand the context of the relationship between the various artifacts, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
need to see it, play with it. And then finally, another thing that was highlighted a lot, which is great to see, because we know Microsoft of years past this was kind of a backdrop and more of a community-led discussion, but a lot around governance and manageability with major upgrades. There was the launch of Agent 365, which, if you want to get spy-esque, very, very James Bond-ish, it's a unified control plane for managing AI agents across Microsoft 365, which I think is great, because when Microsoft year into the Copilot launch at the MVP Summit, and agents were announced and started to talk about, a couple of very loud voices in the MVP community were like, are you guys thinking of, there needs to be like agents for agents, to manage the complexity that you're building, the sprawl of agents. Like, we need this, because it's not just, think about this, owners of SharePoint and Teams, that are, these collaboration leaders, that they're starting to build out a lot of things inside of Teams and SharePoint and Outlook. It's going to grow even more. I mean, I think we're just at scratching the surface of agent creation. And so Agent 365 treats agents like digital users. It gives each of them identities, permissions, access policies, and tracks activity logs, allowing organizations to adopt Copilot and app level agents confidently and responsibly. So there's the marketing pitch there. But you think about this, how this works with Work IQ's contextual intelligence and the rest of the governance guardrails of now Agent 365, all the things that you're doing around governance and manageability for, even if you're using third-party platforms like SysKit or AvePoint or Orchestry, ShareGate. There's a number of partner solutions out there that have governance capabilities. These things working together. In fact, I saw the names, a couple, I think each of those companies have announcements, things that they're releasing. So lots of things to go catch up on if you are a customer of any one of those companies or others that are building governance solutions around Microsoft 365 and any of those platforms. Then I'm sure they have an update of how their stuff works alongside and integrates with Work IQ and Agent 365. So anything I left out from what you guys have been reading, or does that kind of touch on everything?
In the Office space, yeah. I mean, that's the stuff that I noticed. Over in the Azure space, I did see the Sentinel announcements, because they've got equivalent with so Sentinel, Microsoft bought Cloud App Security, and that became Microsoft Defender and whatnot in the cloud. So Cloud App Security is now evolved into, Sentinel's at the top of the list, because that is what allows you to track attacks across different stacks and technical areas. Like they might be able to coordinate, let's say, a denial of service attack with an email attack against, these various attacks. AI pulls all that together, presents it, tracks it, and allows you to manage it. That's one of the things that really caught my attention, is a real delivery on some AI to essentially fight what are now AI attacks. So it's now who's got the best AI in security research.
Well, this too, if you're not familiar with for every all the big shows, well, now I guess we're down to the two big shows. So Microsoft Build, a developer conference that usually takes place in May, and now Ignite, which is all the IT Pro, and I don't know if they're attempting to still do partner stuff.
They've shifted. It may have been IT Pro in the past, but just look at the summary list. Who's there? The two categories, journalist and builder. I'm like, they're not even using the same language anymore. The conference.
Yeah, this is new too. You've got the instant summaries here. So if you're a journalist, if you're a manager looking for that, if you're a builder that is looking for details on here, you can summarize kind of all the details here. But like always, it's good to go through and look at and read through kind of all the sections. What are they actually announcing here? So here's right at the top of the list, the Microsoft Agent 365. So jump you down through the page here of what each of these are. But you had called out down in the Azure and the security. So down in security, like the Sentinel, one formal announcement, but there's so much that's happening across all the categories around the security sector. But it's always fascinating to come and read through this. Microsoft has gotten a lot better at this. Sometimes, we all the MVPs, we received this with everybody else, the rest of the world. We were aware of someone was being announced, but you never know. We could have heard of on an MVP call, all under NDA a week ago, that here's some things that we're getting ready for the show. But until the actual announcements come out, Microsoft may still go in the final last minute testing, decide something's not ready and remove it. So we have to be very careful as MVPs that we verify, we learned about this, we heard about this. Is it in the announcements? Can we talk about that yet?
Breaking
Validate
NDA
that.
is a no-no as an MVP.
Right.
That'll get you in trouble real quick.
Right. So it's always good to talk about here was what was actually presented and out there, and being very careful. But scrolling through this, what's great about each of these sections too, again, if you're brand new to this, being able to go in, there's blog posts around each one of these things, other downloads. It gives you, sessions that now it is free, of course, to attend virtually, Ignite. But in
your ample free
great
time.
content. Yeah, that's right. I've got the time to fly for a week out to San Francisco. So that's going on. The full keynote is out there. So what is this thing, like 2.5 hours?
Almost 3, it looks like.
Is it?
248 is what I see.
Yeah, 248. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a bunch of it that's 2.5, I think.
Okay.
Because of music. You can sit and listen to the music in the lobby if that's what you want to do there.
That's why I go. Come on.
Yeah. But a lot of it, and they've got, it's a bit more compact. They've got the blog posts that are out there as Microsoft does now. It's still a little frustrating that you have to jump around to find information across a dozen different locations. But for the most part, like I follow up on the Microsoft 365 blog, and then I track like the Teams and SharePoint channels out in tech community where other announcements and blogs are made. But this goes through and gives like the key announcements around Work IQ, what's happening with Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and Agent 365. So these major announcements. So it'll just jump you down the page to these or out to a separate blog post for each one of these. But yeah, this is, I'd say that at the very least, go read the book of news around these 3 focus areas. That's probably the biggest news out of the conference. I don't know. We're selfishly, just because as MVPs, we've heard about so many other things. I know there's a lot more than just those 3 bullets there. But there's a lot happening with SharePoint. So going out again out in the tech community site. So if you're interested in what's happening with SharePoint, either for your intranet or if you're using it more for its collaborative capabilities, there's a lot more that's going on. A big thing that was released, this isn't new for Ignite, but that Copilot can now go in and SharePoint can reason over metadata. That was a big thing that was announced, I think, this summer.
I don't remember.
A couple months ago. It's been out for a couple months at least. And then the knowledge agent, of course, this was also announced weeks ago. There's more, external feedback, some large clients that have been doing things with the knowledge agent. I know Jeff Teeper has been out talking about that. But giving the on-demand page and list creation and making that more of the agent-led is fantastic as well. So there's just a lot of, I don't know. I was talking to some of my team about this yesterday and today, and they're just like, It's like, what do you mean? It's like it's hard when it's incremental stuff. They're like, oh, it's great. It's great to see this, but this is I don't know. This is just kind of is it just a cultural change from when we used to go to a conference and that was truly the first time we were hearing about a lot of what was being announced, what was being shared, versus now we're like, yeah, is there anything that I didn't hear about months ago or weeks ago or a few days ago?
This makes sense in the context of the rate of change right now. I mean, we are in Microsoft's single largest user acceptance test in the history of mankind. That's what we're doing, guys. We're beta testing Microsoft 365, new features, user interface changes, and everything. This whole release cycle is largely water under the bridge at this point because we're evolving every 2 weeks and releasing every 2 weeks for many of the products. I mean, stuff's always rolling out. Two people can't end up, you can be in the same organization with your best friend, and you can have two very different Teams clients installed on your system, depending on what's been rolled out to your tenant, what you have access to, licensing, and everything else. So we're in a big UAT. That's probably the one thing that people need to get used to, unfortunately. Or fortunately, if you're really into new features. But most businesses prefer the consistency versus the newness. So
yeah, Geoff, a company like Insight, a bigger organization, how do you guys approach the frontier stuff? Are you involved in the frontier program?
No.
Or do they not support doing individually selecting a faster ring and doing more of a dog fooding experience with Microsoft Tech, or what's the stance?
Yeah, so we do have some teams that are doing that. I'm not part of that. I'm just delivery client facing. So
You need your tech to work.
What's that?
You need your technology to work.
Yeah, I need my technology to work, and I need to bring in money for the company. So
yeah, he needs to stay in work.
Yeah, it's again, I've got highlighted here. So, if you want to see, if you're not part of the Frontier program, but want to, so don't have early access to Copilot with Excel and PowerPoint and Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. I think Outlook and mentioned down here as well. But you've got some videos that walk through and show you some examples of how that is working now. So definitely worth a read there, again, out in the tech community. There's also there's something around, and I saw this and I opened it, and I apologize, gents, I didn't read this. Oh, there is a Microsoft 365 Copilot business SKU that's opening up on December 1st with its, specifically, it's up to 300 users. And it's a $21 price point instead of the $30. So you have to have the Microsoft 365 business license as a prereq, so business basic, standard, or premium. But if that's you, saving $9 a user per month to get access to all the Copilot capabilities is kind of a slick deal.
Yeah, if you're already at the point where you accept the $30 a month additional charge on top of you. I mean, many businesses, I don't think, are even thinking AI. Most enterprise businesses have something spun up, but the cost is still an issue. Mm-hmm. And it is expensive to use Copilot versus other AI tools out there. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. So Geoff, again, you're client facing as well. What's been the feedback from clients you've worked with around Copilot licensing and costs?
So the clients that I've been working with, they really haven't been doing too much with Copilot. And if they are, it's not interfacing the projects and stuff that I've been working on. Most of the stuff I'm doing is Power Platform stuff. And the clients that I'm working with aren't, at least the projects that I've been involved with, they're not doing any Copilot agent stuff or Copilot builder and all that.
Still need that Copilot agent for COBOL, right?
I hear they're working on it, Sean.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so I haven't done much with Copilot Studio or anything yet for any clients. It's just been, Canvas apps and model-driven apps.
I'm seeing more and more with our clients and some smallers that are. I think everybody has a pilot, and a pilot could be one or two people that are experimenting and just figuring out how it fits in. But we've got a client that we're going to be running through a brainstorming exercise this next week to help them better understand specific scenarios of where they can apply this, how they can leverage it in the day-to-day. And so I expect I'm going to spend a bunch of time walking through, showing them how I'm using it in Outlook, in Teams, in PowerPoint and Word, in OneNote, in a bunch of different places. Of course, there's nothing special it's doing in OneNote, but just again, from the content creation or note-taking capability after meetings, kind of all those common scenarios that I've been using it for years now. So I'm take for granted the fact that people coming in brand new aren't aware of these kind of fundamental capabilities, the benefits of it. I mean, I look at it and I say, $30 a user a month. Like as soon as they dropped the threshold for individuals, like I went and purchased licenses immediately because they didn't yet have free licenses for MVPs, which came like 2 months later. So I paid for the year because I wanted it immediately. Anyway, that's my grudge to hold. And then it was kind of a problem getting it switched over at the end of the year over to my MVP license and stuff. But I saw the value instantly in just the ability on the note-taking and summaries of meetings and that capability to go in. And of course, with ideation and content creation, some of those key scenarios, like I'm paying for a bunch of other apps to do all those things. And now I have one app that does those multiple things. So I was able to immediately replace those other tools and stop paying those other fees. So $30, I'm like done.
Yep.
But I realize that there's others that need more scenarios, need to better understand before they fully embrace it. What is this? The Microsoft baseline security mode. So I was in a session a couple weeks ago as some of the announcements were being discussed. So you have this ability now to go into the admin center and disable legacy settings and enable secure by default configurations, run simulations for setting changes, and deploy protections you've always wanted with just a few clicks. So centralizing this across multiple products.
It looks like it's the old Microsoft baseline security analyzer packaged as an agent for Copilot use. And that's the thing that would typically pull out your GPOs and apply those at a default domain level, that sort of stuff.
Yep. Well, that's why I think with this, as we were discussing, that there's a bunch of things which there's a little bit of new on top of some bunch of stuff that's been around for a long time, and then kind of repackaging around that. But hey, sometimes the best innovations are from the iterative development rather than, hey, look at this brand new big thing. That's
really shiny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Agent 365. So again, this is there's a full article, there's a video, little animated video out there. Like this, the control plane, because they got control plane versus calling it yet another single pane of glass, all working from one place. But I mean, the reality is governance, maybe following the COE, the Center of Excellence method, is not enough to keep track of all of the agents that are being created and enabled, and the sprawl of agents is real.
Yep.
So to be able to help you deploy, organize, and govern them securely. So great. There's some graphs. There's a bunch of things. So there's the actual registry process. So you can go and monitor this. These are all things that you go then and automate on. So you could do things like, hey, send it. Maybe you have every 6 months that it's reviewed again, whether it's needed, whether it's being viewed or used. And the owner can be notified of, hey, Jeff, you built these 2 agents 6 months ago. There's been 2 users on agent 1 and 0 users in agent 2. Are they still valid? Should we do something with them? And so you have the ability, because you're registering and tracking those, you're aware of where those are and their history, you can do that kind of automation.
Mm-hmm.
Change the access control.
You can just delete those, by the way.
I already did. I was using this as an example. I've already deleted them, and your profile. Someone from HR is going to contact you.
Yes. I mean,
clean sweep.
It was just easier for us just to do it that way.
Cleaner.
visualizations of that data as well. I mean, again, this is a problem with, I mean, I know you see this over in Power Platform area too, Geoff, is that it's great to see that, hey, we've got centralized all these places. Why having a COE type model work, so that at least you have somebody that's responsible for looking at in the body of the work. But to have, like a real time or near real time, who's actually using what, how often is it being used, what data is being accessed on this, give me the background of the rest of this app, so that you can on a regular basis go and review here in the last 6 months. Here's a list of all the apps that have never been accessed in the last 6 months. What do we want to do?
Yeah.
Love that. And then, of course, deeper integration, because the future is to be able to go in and understand the capabilities across the various agents and do more and more complex tasks. I'm of a certain age, and then of course the shared security, blah, blah, blah. But with the interoperability, I put it in the terminology of like a service bus, to be able to go in and use common language notation. And here's what I'm trying to do this business problem. And the system is getting to the point where it's going to recognize, well, if I combine these 5 agents, we can complete your end-to-end task. There's a little bit of overlap. Here's how it would work. Here's how the handoffs would happen. And then, help you even construct the prompt or the series of prompts to be able to go and put in the right request across those multiple apps. I mean, that's, you also have to have that interoperability between the agents to make any of that vision of the future possible.
Yeah.
Edge. Are you guys Edge users?
Nope.
Hadn't been. More so now than I was. I used to use IE religiously with everything SharePoint, and then I moved to Chrome from there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm Chrome. I only use Edge every once in a while when I'm in a client's network or something like that, and that's all they got in the VDI or whatever.
I've always got enough stuff open on my desktop, the Chrome browser with 50 tabs open, but to separate, so I have by default all of the Microsoft apps open in Edge. So because as I'm always logged in on my browser in Edge, it makes a difference. Like I've shared in some other recordings. Like I was showing something. I was in Teams. There was a discussion going on. I was showing somebody something over an Edge, and then the Teams chat opened up in the browser, just like popped open. There's some interaction that happened there. I'm like, I didn't know it could do that. There's deeper integrations when you are using Edge and you're signed in, that's able to leverage your content and interact and do a bunch of other things. So I have it written down somewhere, the idea of doing a side-by-side comparison of using Edge and what special sauce is included for Microsoft products if you use Edge. I'd like to research that and find out, well, what else can it do that I'm not leveraging?
I'd watch that.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing that goes into my productivity tips. I'll find out something like that. Like freaking, I'm like months old in my knowledge that you could double click on the format brush and pin it, so that you could do, if you're like bolding some text, and then go grab the next body of text and hit bold again, or hit the format painter to bold it, then it turns off. If you double click on it, it keeps it. So I can just keep bolding stuff. And when I'm done, click one more time to deselect it.
I was this days old when I learned you could do that, apparently.
Right. Right. That's just one of those things where maybe it's written down somewhere, but that's in my productivity tips, like freaking changed my world.
That's awesome.
Save me 3 seconds per day, which adds up.
Yeah.
To minutes.
Yeah. Minutes of your life you're getting back.
No, it's a frustrating thing. If you're going through doing a big edit and you're changing some formatted things, it's awesome. Bunch of new things in Teams, of course. So the Copilot experience in Teams, in channels. So to be able to go in and utilize Copilot in each of the conversations. Again, the difference is opening up Copilot on the right side and interacting with the canvas versus having it be able to participate down in the canvas itself and interact with each of your channels. Is huge difference there. So yeah, the Teams mode for Copilot. And so, oh, there's even a launch demo. So it's not just all right, manage it. So, oh, hey, there's a whole, I didn't realize this was set up here for doing this. So I can start a group chat, enter in a name. Okay. I'm just get the beginning of that. I'm going to create, open the group chat in Teams. All right. So jump to it. So again, which of these trends do you think will matter? Yeah. So I have started to play with some of this within our tenant. Like Sean, I don't know if you've played it with it all, with some of it enabled.
Just meeting recaps on the standard stuff with having an agent in the interpreting the meeting and participating.
Yeah, it's it's been fantastic to go. Especially I find that I'm multitasking less and jumping across because I can more quickly jump over to other places, other contact, other artifacts. They've also apparently done a bunch of performance improvements to Teams.
Yeah. Ooh.
Great. Never complain about performance improvements, but like to understand what was actually done as opposed to how much faster things have become compared to what. I mean,
40% less memory consumption is good. I have
that's a huge thing
script that runs every morning that restarts Teams if it's running to clear it all out.
Yeah, I don't think you changed that process, but now it should be better.
The equivalent of recycling the worker process.
Yep.
Yeah.
Back in the server days.
Anyway, so hey, there's that detail. Here's what's going on with the architecture diagnostics around some of that. So yeah, so that's great to see. That's it. Anyway, I mean, I really encourage people to go and spend some time in the table of contents. I don't know, Sean, did you want to look into any of this on the security side of things?
No, I was just particularly interested in Sentinel because, I had been teaching cybersecurity to high school students. So I've got a natural interest over there.
I mean, there's just a lot. Like, I've not gone through any of this around Windows yet. So
me either.
Yeah, I mean, usually it's like it takes a good part of the month to kind of get through and read all this stuff and catch up, find those things that are relevant. Of course,
a thick burger.
It really is. But you do have AI, so you can actually go up and summarize. If I want to go in and, turn this on, I want to look at the journalist mode. If I want to look at the what is it, the TDM? What is that?
I don't know. It's not an acronym I'm familiar with.
Yeah. Technology something or other manager. I don't know. I thought it was like the
Ask Copilot.
Yeah. Good times. Well, I'm in the wrong browser. I could ask Gemini.
There you go.
I know. Was there anything else? Any other news that either of you are aware of? Anything else that's not related to the conference?
You wrote a book.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah. You know what? And I need to do
art now.
I need to do an episode. I've got it right there. But yes. So for those that if I've not talked to you about it, it's available out on Amazon. But the Circuit Dominion, which is my first in a trilogy of science fiction books. So I gave away a total of 2 copies at TechCon a couple weeks back. I forgot to drive them over. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And my brother-in-law, who's the illustrator, did the cover for it. We are planning to do a graphic novel.
Mm.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
we're going to do planning and outline it, where we're going to do a monthly subscription for it of like $5, and you'll get a weekly email that has another page or two of the graphic, the e-zine. And then once we have it completed, then those people will get a deep discount on the printed book graphic novel version of it.
That's awesome.
So I think we're gonna do them all, and the weeklies will be the black and white, and then he will hand colorize them. We had this whole conversation because that was not done. That was done with Photoshop, not with AI to colorize. Like, it's hand drawn. In fact, if you buy the Kindle edition, I guess I could go and pull this up here and show you. If you guys weren't aware of this, I think I've mentioned to a few, but come on, Amazon.
Cloud layer down again, or AWS, or anything else?
Or both.
So I purchased a stack of my the author rate. Got the little description, of course, on the back there, but this was all his actual drawing. If you go and look at the Kindle edition, it's the original line drawing, the first sketch that he did. So you can see it's exact.
That's awesome.
And so I think that's going to be like my thing for the series, is that the Kindle editions will have the line art of the covers.
That's awesome.
It's a smart way to do it.
Yeah, just so you can differentiate which version you're buying there. But it's a lot of fun with it. And before the end of the year, I'm going to have a hardcover version, which will have a chapter or more for the next book. I've got a whole huge index that's being added, and there's some additional artwork that's going to be in it. So making it a little bit special, a little bit different to justify the cost, and of course hardcover. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So anyway, excited about that. But it's only, as you can see there, $12.99. I'm not trying to make any money on it. I just want it to be out there and hopefully read more. So it's a story that I've been working on since I was a teenager.
Oh, cool. That's
updated awesome. A little bit with modern day AI stuff, but yeah, it's robots against humans, folks, in a post-apocalypse type world.
We'll be there soon enough.
Great advertisement at the end of a podcast covering AI.
There we go. Well, this is in the one end. So speaking of end of the world, there was BravoCon that just happened in Vegas. So either of you guys, gents, make it out to it?
No. I have no idea what BravoCon is.
Please, Geoff. I mean, so what I love is like that Andy Cohen,
the TV network. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Duh. Come on. I mean, Andy Cohen did 20 years of The Real Housewives. Can you believe it's already been 20 years here? So went and hosted that.
Lord.
But a lot going on. Geez. They had the multiple stages and the folks that were out there. You can see all the folks that participated in the event.
Yeah, I got to get back to work.
And a lot going on. Wait, there's more. I mean, obviously the big news, there's two major things. The fact that, Austin Kroll and Lindsay Hubbard clearly have chemistry. I mean, come on, Geoff. I mean, you saw it, right? Immediately. Yeah. I don't know who that is either. And then Craig Conover accused of hiding from the Summer House cast. Again, another shock there. And then the final piece of news is that there's going to be a new Real Housewives spinoff, which is
the Real Housewives
Ultimate Road Trip.
Oh.
So must watch TV.
Yeah.
Or read a book.
I'm holding out till they get to the realer housewives, not the
Even more real.
like real, like really real.
Technicolor housewives. Yeah.
Well, hopefully, folks, you got some learning out of that episode. I mean, what we try to do is summarizing this is to point you in the direction to go and read more, find out more what's relevant for your organization. We just try to make it, lighthearted, have some fun with it,
and occasionally include actual data and information.
Yeah, a little bit. It's good to have that, that intermingling of scripture and priestcraft that we do.
Oh yeah, chocolate, peanut butter,
together. It is just better together. Come on. Yeah,
it is.
So with that, I think we'll. I don't
see you.
Your video out. We just don't see you. All I was gonna say right there at the end before this shakeup happened, and Sean did something. But was the fact that we're coming up on the 25th anniversary of SharePoint.
Yeah.
So we're having a little celebration. Heather Cook and I, Heather from Microsoft, some of you know, are moderating a panel as part of the event at ESPC, where we've got a bunch of Microsoft folks. So, and we're going to be going through some of the history and giving away some old swag at that event.
Wait, is this from the move you're cleaning out your closets?
That's 100% what I'm doing. But their Microsoft is actually bringing some stuff out there. I actually asked, I said, hey, any chance that you guys could ship out and ship back the Share Quilt, which is on display at Microsoft headquarters?
Yeah.
Folks don't know what the Share Quilt is. That is a quilt that my mother-in-law and I put together years back, made up of all conference t-shirts, logos, and things. And it's officially part of the Microsoft art collection. It's hanging in building 34. It needs to be moved over to the new building, to where the SharePoint people are. But if you're ever visiting building 34, you can go in the lower lobby, and that's where it's hanging on the wall there. And artwork by Karen Fisher and Christian Buckley. So yes. Yeah. Anyway, well, gents, Sean, I know we can hear you, but you're hearing the spirit for him. But
I don't see myself.
My camera is active and everything. So
yeah,
I just see Christian. I just see you. There's spots for all three of us, but they're just not there. So
exactly. Same here. I just see Christian with basically open spaces where we would be.
Yeah. So
there we go.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I don't know what's going on.
You did it.
No, I just hit a button now. I didn't hit anything before.
You just fixed it, so you obviously caused the problem.
Yeah, we both have video back, so
yeah.
There, we got that. Now you're big on the screen. We're smaller on the right, so
as it should be.
All right, and I'm not sharing the other screen, but yeah. Well, anyway, thanks a lot, gents, for your time. Obviously, it's always fun getting together and just chatting and talking smack about Microsoft stuff. So,
true enough.
With that, thanks for watching the episode, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Take it easy.
You've been listening to the CollabTalk podcast. New episodes are published weekly, and you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and most other podcast platforms. Thanks for listening.